Good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
Jones for the win, he got it! He got it! He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Good afternoon. Have yourself a long weekend. That means you get a short week. Welcome inside our studios. Phil Elson, live, Fayetteville, my location today. Smackdown in the T in the fort. It is a beautiful day across the natural state, and it's good to be with you on this Monday-ish Tuesday. 877-377-6963 to get on the show today, and there is a lot to get to since there was an action-packed weekend with a lot of stuff going on. And, oh, by the way, it does feel like college football season really begins this week, although we've had a couple of weeks of games here and there. The big schools, or some of the big schools at least, will start getting involved later on in the week. Plus, the NFL starts on Thursday, and football season is in full swing. Isn't that nice to say, SmackDown?
Oh,
it's actually true. Football
so
season is in full swing as of right now.
On
makes the heart happy.
KERX, we're going to be
Yep.
your home for Kansas City Chiefs football starting Thursday.
That's right. Hey, and by the way, of course, in about 19 days, we'll air our first Arkansas Razorback football game of the season. We start the Razorback broadcast, though, on Wednesday with the initial broadcast of Sam Pittman Live with, of course, the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett. That's exciting, too. Just another sign that football season is upon us.
And we'll be carrying that live, too, right, Maddie?
Absolutely.
If anything Arkansas Razorback, we got you covered.
That's exactly right. So,
But,
You
yeah,
know,
it feels good that football was back. I mean, it's been back, and we've seen the high school games, but now it kind of feels like with NFL coming back, and now you got the ACC and the Big 12 starting to get their season kicked off and rolling here. It's starting to come back. We're starting to get back to normal, air quotes everywhere.
yeah, a little normal. Watched a couple of football games over the weekend, or at least pieces of them. Watched a good chunk of A-State Memphis. Was a little surprised about going for it on fourth down so early in the second half. Blake Anderson looked like a little bit was pressuring himself a little bit. And then I watched as much of the Navy-BYU game as I could stomach yesterday before it was obvious that one team just wasn't ready to play, is what it looked like. I don't think Navy had done any tackling whatsoever during the month leading up to this first game, and then BYU just runs all over them. Navy looked like they hadn't tackled once. So I guess I watched like 3 or 4 series of that game, and that was about all that I could handle. So let's see. What do we got going on today? We're going to have on more guests than usual for this Tuesday edition. We've got Nate Olson coming on at 12:30. Nate is one of the co-hosts of the Friday Night Scoreboard with Rex Nelson. So we're going to add some high school football to our coverage throughout the week. And, of course, high school football really got kicked off over the weekend, and we'll touch with Nate on some of the big games that occurred across our listening area and some big performances and also games to pay attention to on Friday. Nikki Chavanel is joining us at 1 o'clock for a recruiting talk. Hogs did get another pickup last week, Ketron Jackson, wide receiver from Royce City, Texas. So we'll chat with Nikki about that and what the incoming class looks like for 2021. And then hour number 2, 1:30, Jeff Dantzler joins us, morning show host on the station that is the flagship for Georgia Athletics. He also works the pregame show on the Georgia football broadcast and is the main baseball play-by-play guy and women's basketball guy for the Georgia Bulldogs. Of course, plus your calls and texts at 877-377-6963. But there is I guess we've got to make an announcement, right? SmackDown,
we do.
because there is a I mean, it's a minor yet major change to your favorite midday radio program.
We'll get this drum roll sounder rolling right here. And it's all you, my friend.
The minor is that the show is moving 1 hour earlier. The major is that anytime you move a show even 1 hour difference, it is a major change. So halftime will remain mostly a lunchtime program, but it just depends on whether or not you eat your lunch at 11 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So halftime will be moving next Monday to 11 o'clock until 1. So that's right about, I mean, this is right 2 years since we started the show SmackDown. In fact, this might actually be the anniversary. And now that I think of it, I'd have to look back on.
Are you having the same issue with Phil's audio here?
If it was September the 8th, was it September the 8th that we started the show with Ty? I think so. So very cool. I think it's been 2 years. So now in the third year of the program, we're going to move the show to 11 o'clock till 1 o'clock. So I guess, does that mean I'm supposed to wake up earlier than I have been? I don't like to set an alarm these days. I like the smell of the coffee maker, which I set the night before to let me know whether or not I should wake up. Just the scent of coffee usually is enough. So SmackDown, does that mean I've got to wake up earlier than usual since we're doing a show 1 hour earlier?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to be a little prepared a little bit earlier too. You don't have to wake up as early as me, but it's something we're going to get to work on here.
All right. So that's what's going on in our world as far as halftime is concerned. Let's see what we got going on this week for college football because, of course, the SEC does not start until later on this month, about 19 days. So the ACC and the Big 12 will begin their season this week. Big 12 doesn't host a conference game this week. It's all going to be non-con games, best of which featuring Arkansas State visiting Kansas State, Louisiana at Iowa State. You also have Oklahoma showing off Spencer Rattler for the first game with Missouri State coming into Norman. The ACC does begin league play. Duke, Notre Dame, one of the better games to watch. Louisville, Pitt, and Miami will play non-conference this week. But those are the two of the Power 5 leagues that are getting started. You do have Sun Belt, Conference USA, also playing. There have been some postponements, though, which I guess we have to get used to this happening as this season continues because you now need two hands to count the postponements. 4 postponements this week, including Oklahoma State season opener against Tulsa. Some issues with Tulsa not being able to practice much because of COVID on the team and quarantine, so they've pushed their season opener back 1 week. That'll be next weekend, September the 19th. A couple of other games involving Conference USA schools have been postponed. Marshall at East Carolina, Florida International at UCF. I think UCF is the only ranked team right now that was supposed to start this weekend that's going to have to push their season opener back. And then there's the story of Rice, who's only playing an 8-game conference schedule and nothing else. And they've had to postpone their first 2 games of the season because of COVID-related issues on campus at Rice and around the city of Houston. They were supposed to have their first couple of games early October, and those have now been, I would say, pushed back, but I don't think they've even been rescheduled yet. So these are issues that you're going to see throughout the season now. I mean, even Bob Bowlesby, the Big 12 commissioner, said he expected that this Tulsa-Oklahoma State postponement won't be the only one they have to deal with. So, I mean, I guess that would be speaking a little of the obvious, and that's why you've got that's why you got an extra bye week mixed into whatever this season is going to look like. All right, it's 877-377-6963 to get on the show with us today. Again, we are moving our show next Monday to 11 o'clock in the morning until 1. And so that does mix up a couple of the other shows that you hear here on ESPN Arkansas. 6 to 9, you'll stay with the Morning Rush. 9 o'clock till 11, it's Dan Lebitard. Then we go on from 11 till 1. We are putting Greeny on right after halftime for 2 hours. So Mike Greenberg hosting from 1 to 3. That'll be one of the only 2 ESPN shows national that are syndicated on our air during normal listening hours, and then Ruskin and Zach take you from 3 until 7. So it's a slight change, but it's a change that I think is good for the listeners, good for the show, good for the sponsors, good for the station, and I really can't think of one negative thing about moving to 11 o'clock in the morning. All right, we've got lots coming up on the show. We had final cuts made by the NFL teams over the weekend, and we'll see where various Razorbacks have landed, either on active rosters or on practice squads. And I want to talk about Lou Brock, one of the all-time great baseball players from the state of Arkansas, born and raised in El Dorado, one of 6 native Arkansans elected to the Hall of Fame and the only black Arkansan elected to the Hall of Fame. Passed away at the age of 81 on Sunday. I want to talk about his legacy throughout the world of baseball, and also if you got any remembrances of Lou Brock. We are in Cardinal country. Let us know. 877-377-6963. Halftime comes right back after this. What's going on?
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
At some point, we got to quit always dragging in last year or the last 2 years into the reasoning of why this year can't have some independence of its own and some success on its own. Well, at some point, the last 2 years it has to quit mattering, and you got to move forward. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about here this morning.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Are you ready to experience that new car smell? At Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler, Oklahoma, we are excited to put you in the driver's seat. Allow us to demonstrate our commitment to our exceptional customer service. Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram sales staff is here to answer your questions related to our inventory, service, parts, financing, and more. See us at 1100 East Main Street or give us a call, 888-893-3130. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
In September at Frank Road Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in the USA Speed Queen laundry, gas coil top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, reclining sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and tables and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Road Furniture, 405 4th Street in Barling, Arkansas.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Finally, CBD products are available in your area. It's 100% legal to buy our hemp-based CBD products, oils, gummies, or tablets. So what's bothering you? Science is finding CBD can help a variety of problems. Do you live with chronic pain? Do you want to reduce nausea and vomiting? Do you want to quit smoking or break some addictions? That's the reason why so many people are talking about CBD. Whether it's sleep issues, stress, or even anxiety, it's it's time to take a look. Right now, CBD products are available to you, and you get 30 days to try it out with a money-back satisfaction guarantee. You have nothing to lose and your better health to gain. Call right now. Mention the discount code RADIO and qualify for free shipping.
800-689-5773. 800-689-5773. 800-689-5773. That's 800-689-5773.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Over to Trozzi. The ball is loose. 1 second to play. Jerry heaves it, and Arkansas wins the game. 75-71, the final score from Bud Walton Arena.
Back on Halftime. Excited to be with you today. Phil Elson, SmackDown, and Matty T. 877-377-6963 is the number to get with us. I think we had some issues getting on the air in the last segment. To those who were not able to hear us, we are moving the show 1 hour earlier starting next Monday. So starting next Monday, your lineup on ESPN Arkansas will look like this. 6 o'clock, morning rush till 9. The Le Batard Show, 9 to 11. Halftime, 11 to 1. Got Greeny going on at 1 to 3, and then Ruskin and Zach from 3 to 7. So that starts Monday, next week. Halftime moves 1 hour earlier, 11 till 1, and pretty excited about that. That means there's a little extra time once the show is over to just go goof off and do whatever. So I know SmackDown will also be excited for his day to end a little earlier as well. One thing I wanted to get to before we get into some of this football stuff I got angry on Friday. I let my emotions get the best of me with this Mexican pizza thing. I chilled out over the weekend. I resisted all calls to go to the T-Bell, and apparently our listenership was with me as far as keeping this item on the menu. So 58% said keep it, 42% no, and I think it's time for the Bell SmackDown to pay me some money, because I got some texts and tweets from listeners that said just because of listening to the show on Friday, they went and they ordered one of these things at the drive-thru. So, and I feel bad about this because the restaurant's not a sponsor, but yet I go out and I'm selling their food.
Well, I mean, we did the civic duty, and like I said Friday, I've never did the Mexican pizza, don't have anything against it, but I didn't realize the importance of it that you and Matty T brought to my attention on Friday. So we did the civic duty. We did the duty of the nation on Friday.
I feel all right about that. Okay, so the NFL starts Thursday night. I got my team playing Monday night. Steelers open up against the Giants. I think that'll be can I make a Steeler prediction? AFC North champions 13-3.
Ooh,
interesting. I'm going to make that prediction here early before the season even starts. But they have no Razorbacks on the roster. Oh, well. So I guess we don't get to mention the Steelers in this segment. But how about Cam Curl making Washington's football team after being a late-round pick, survives a battle for position on special teams, and I do think Cam has the chance to be a sleeper in the NFL. I know the Minnesota Vikings have hopeful big plans for Armon Watts, who came on at the end of the season last year, and he makes the team again. Jeremy Sprinkle makes Washington. Jason Peters, I saw, has now – I don't know which way to take this. Was it did Peters get the money that he asked for to play left tackle, or did he finally just say, okay, I'll play left tackle because you need one? And for a while there, he walked into Peterson's office and told him, I need more money to play this position since this is the more valuable position than right tackle, and you can't keep your quarterback healthy. I didn't see if he got the money he was asking for. Hopefully he did. I mean, you play this long in the NFL and you're playing that position for that team, you should be paid more than if you're playing if you're starting at right tackle. Let's see here. Other Razorbacks that made the active roster. Hjalte Froholt makes the Pats. Cody Hollister makes the Titans. Randy Ramsey makes the Pack. And Dietrich Wise Jr. has made the New England Patriots. A little surprised to see Brandon Allen get beaten out for the backup job behind Joe Burrow.
Really was.
But he is essentially a third stringer as the practice team practice squad quarterback. Chase Harrell is an NFL player. He always had the body. He always had the speed, the look of an NFLer, just not the hands. And hopefully he has a chance to work on those hands as a practice teamer for San Francisco. Scooter makes the pack. So didn't make the Pats, but makes the pack. Jeremiah Ledbetter with the Bucks. Chris Smith, Vegas Raiders. T.J. Smith with the Chargers, and Jonathan Williams, who had a pair of 100-yard games last year, will be practice squatter for the Lions. So those are all the Razorbacks that are on active rosters and practice squads for the NFL season. And look, I mean, there are more practice squad players this year than ever before. Practice squad players are allowed to be elevated to the travel roster or the active roster at least twice during the season. So just being a practice teamer does not mean that you are going to stay a practice teamer. So at least you're getting paid. At least you're in front of NFL coaches and get to make a career out of this for a while.
And we saw the news over the weekend where I just blanked on his name all of a sudden. Who was the fella's name? He was with the Eagles this year during the playoff run. Josh McCown signed a practice squad deal for $12,000 or $1,200 a week to stay at home and
just
be
to
sit there and be a part of the practice squad and not have to move from Texas.
A virtual practice squatter, isn't that nice?
Hey, that's the life right there. That's a lucrative deal right there, if there ever was one.
All right, so I wanted to talk about Lou Brock. I'm going to make a shift here from football over to baseball, and I mean this is Cardinal country. It's also Cub country. This is one of the rare Hall of Famers that played for both teams. He's also one of 6 Arkansans elected to the Hall of Fame and the only black Arkansan elected into the Hall of Fame. Brock grew up in El Dorado and was not signed after he hit over 500 in high school. In order to get an athletic scholarship, went to Southern University on a partial academic scholarship. And it was there that he was found by Buck O'Neil. And for those who know the name Buck O'Neil, this is a legendary. He was a very good Negro League player who turned into a long-time scout. And I think he was the first black man to be a major league coach with the Cubs. He signed practically all of the Cubs' great African-American players, guys like Ernie Banks, and he signed Lou Brock. Of course, Brock, those who know, was traded in one of the most lopsided deals ever in the middle of the 1964 season for sore-arm pitcher Ernie Broglio. And it's amazing to see. Now, like, you could go through all the stats of Brock, 938 steals, over 3,000 hits, kind of changed the game the way it was played, but I feel like he was more than that. You can point to the moment that Lou Brock was traded from the Cubs to the Cardinals as a resurgence of success for St. Louis. Now, look, before Brock joined the Cardinals, they were still good. I mean, they had Stan Musial. They were a good team. But from 1947 through 1963, they won no National League pennants. They just couldn't overcome the Dodgers, the Giants, the Pirates one year, and the Reds. But from the date of the Lou Brock trade, there has been no more dominant National League team than the St. Louis Cardinals. 11 NL pennants, 6 World Series. He helped get them to 3 World Championships and almost won 2 of them practically by himself at the plate. I mean, the guy was one of the all-time World Series performers. He had 13 hits in the 67 World Series, which is still tied for the all-time single World Series record. Had 12 hits the next year when St. Louis lost to Detroit. I mean, this guy was as clutch as it got. Aside from the fact that this is somebody that is known for being an incredible base runner, base stealer. We know about the 938 steals, the 114 stolen bases at age 35. But this guy also, he was not a power hitter, but he hit one of the longest home runs in the history of the game. SmackDown, you ever hear of the Polo Grounds? It's an old ballpark in New York, in the northern portion of Manhattan. It was the deepest center field in Major League history, like 493 feet. There have only been 4 balls that ever went over that were ever hit into the center field bleachers at the Polo Grounds, and Lou Brock hit the third of those 4. The next day it was Hank Aaron against it was back when the Mets were playing in the Polo Grounds in 1962. So that was when Brock was playing for the Cubs, and then he goes from the Cubs traded to the Cardinals, and he becomes an iconic member of this franchise to the point where even years after his retirement, he's like Sandy Koufax with the Dodgers. He's like Yogi Berra with the Yankees, synonymous with that franchise. And I mean, there are countless legendary Cardinals that point to their experiences with Lou Brock that help them learn about how special it is to be a St. Louis Cardinal. You're hearing me say that. I hate the Cardinals, but I can respect everything about that franchise. You can point to some of these all-time great players that played most of their careers with one team. Brock is a guy just like that. Ozzie Smith, Bob Forsch, Bob Gibson, Pujols, Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright. I mean, Brock is one of those guys. And there is some poetic aspect to this idea that he and Tom Seaver died 6 days apart. Seaver faced Brock more times in his career than any other hitter in Seaver's career. And he did very well against Brock. He had only .250 against him. I want to talk about that as well throughout the rest of the show. We do have Nate Olson coming on next. We'll talk high school football.
Are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list.
At Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is Pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
In September at Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is Pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Place you can find Duralast, the batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where help is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from the NPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Be a 1-2, runner on the move, ball's drilled by Moore to deep right field. Harlan's back, still running, and it's out of here! Robert Moore over the right field fence for a home run, and that ties the game in the 5th inning. Wow, boy, the kid can flat out play.
One sign that high school football has returned are the silky sounds of Nate Olson and Rex Nelson. Can I say silky for Rex? Entertaining for Rex Nelson for the high school football scoreboard show every Friday night on these very airwaves, 10 till midnight. So let's bring Nate on to talk about that and to talk about some high school football and see what else. Hey, by the way, he's a Cubs fan, so want to ask him about the effect of the Lou Brock trade on the Cubs. Nate, how you doing, man? Good to talk to you. Yeah, you knew I was going to get to that one at some point, right?
Yeah, no, I did, and you saw on Facebook I posted a picture. I love Lou Brock, and even with the Cardinals, I mean, you know, there's certain Cardinals that I really like, even though you're not supposed to, and it's Lou Brock and Ozzie Smith at the top of the list for me. Loved Ozzie as a kid, watching the Wizard, probably the best defensive player I've ever seen. So yeah, we can talk about that, but you saw I put the picture in memoriam of him in the Cub uniform because that's how I'm kind of going to remember him a lot, but that was a bad trade. But anyway, high school football, the big thing, Phil, in SmackDown and Matty T is we're glad there's football to be played because I think if you asked me, you had me on here in July, I would have said I think it looks very doubtful. The governor stepped in, the AAA stepped in, came up with the committee and the requirements, and they have pulled it off so far. Now, there's been some cancellations, and a very notable one the other night. Greenwood was going to play Northside Friday, and that game has been canceled because Northside has COVID cases in football programs. So now Greenwood's going to play Harbor, and we'll talk about that, which is a big game for them. But we're glad. We're glad they're playing, and it's been fairly good so far with the cancellation. So we got our fingers crossed. Every week on the show, you'll hear us talk about wear the mask, social distance. I just got a memo from Bryant today about you need to wear your mask. There's a big football game coming up there with Texas, with Trinity Christian from Dallas, and so we got as a parent of students, we got an email in that district that said got to wear the mask, and they've got some other JV and middle school games there, but they're letting everybody know it. So one of the games I thought was very interesting. It wasn't as close, but Greenwood and Fort Smith Southside, it was Chris Young's debut. So this guy's been an assistant there forever. And Rick Jones leaves kind of unexpectedly to go to Missouri as a consultant. So he goes there. Young takes over. On the first play of the game, Caden Brown, 94-yard kickoff return, and Greenwood's off to the races, 42-3. How about that for a debut, though, guys? Your return guy takes it all the way, and that kind of set the tempo for the game.
That's something else. So a couple of games I wanted to ask about here.
Sure.
You got Fayetteville didn't fare so well against Owasso. You had some crossover over the border over the weekend.
Yeah.
I know Springdale had their way with Choctaw, but Owasso was able to take care of Fayetteville. What happened in that game?
Well, Owasso got off to a really good start. They've got a quarterback, Austin Havens, 3 touchdown passes, 2 early on, and they got the 14-0 lead. The thing that needs to be talked about with Fayetteville, and they've had high expectations there with Casey Dick. They lose to Conway right out of the chute, and Conway played very well in that game. Then you draw Owasso. who's the number one team in Oklahoma, a historical power, defending champion. Blankenship's their coach. He's been at Fayetteville. He won a state title there. So you get to play them. It's a lightning delay. It's a 9 o'clock start, and they have some key injuries too, and they fall behind 14-0 right away. The good news is, if you can take a moral victory out of this, is you could have gotten beaten a lot worse than 31-14. It shows that you've got some fight on your football team to make it respectable, and they were able to move the ball a little bit on Owasso once they got down. The bad news for them is they get to go to North Little Rock this week, and it's a tough 3-game stretch to start the year. And I still have Fayetteville as a team that I think can make some noise in the West, but they need to get healthy. And Casey's got a good scheme that I like. You've got some pretty good athletes there, but you gotta get everybody healthy, and it's tough if you might be 0-3. But they may look at that going into the West, but. Then you've got to approach it. You're 0-0, and you got to get ready for that tough West slate.
Did Harbor fight North Little Rock pretty well? I mean, look at the final, 41-28, but sometimes the score doesn't tell you the story. But was it as close as it looked?
It was, yeah. And then Harbor has the ball in the fourth quarter, and they're trying to move it late to try to make it interesting. And North Little Rock made a stand and got the ball back and ran the clock out. But I think if you ask J.R. Eldridge, who was in his debut and won after a long, great tenure at Arkadelphia, I think he'd say Harbor really gave them a run for their money. And now Harbor plays Greenwood, which that's a tough game for both schools. I mean, both Greenwood, traditional power, 6A, a team that you would probably consider a state championship team again this year, and Harbor kind of unexpectedly playing them, so they're going to scramble to get ready, but that'll be a good test for them. They're 0-2, lost to Jenks, Oklahoma. So a lot of these teams are playing really good opponents. Bentonville West had Broken Arrow on national television. They came back and won the next week, and now they play Central, which is a winnable game for them at Central. Central and Bentonville West are both like one of those teams that are kind of dark horses in their league, like they're on the third or fourth kind of string there. They've got a couple of dominant teams at the top, and they're trying to edge their way in there and play well at times on Friday nights. Trying to look for that big win. Like Central's trying to beat a Bryan or North Little Rock, and Cabot's kind of in that same boat, and West is in that same area in the 7A West.
Speaking to Nate Olson here on Halftime. Nate, who are some teams, maybe aside, maybe not necessarily like the top 2 or 3 in the 7A or 6A, who are some teams that stood out to you during Week 0 and Week 1 that you might need to keep an eye on as we progress through the high school season?
Well, Shiloh Christian, and that's not really a surprise. I mean, if you're listening to this, Shiloh is good. They're a runner-up, but they're 2-0, and they beat Poto, Oklahoma. First week they destroyed Pea Ridge, and that has been a competitive series. And Pea Ridge moved up, and so to 5A, so that's now a non-conference game, but they won easily. And now Poto, Oklahoma this week. Eli Wisdom's a sophomore quarterback. I think he's the key on that team. He's replacing a really good quarterback there, and he's 82 yards on 11 rushes last week, and then 2 touchdowns. And 10 of 18 for 133 and a touchdown. So not really surprising that Shiloh is 2-0, but when you've got a sophomore quarterback, that's always an adventure. And so far, Eli Wisdom has proven, to be up to the task.
What are some big games to watch this coming Friday night on September 11th?
Well, there are several. Like I said, Harbor and Greenwood is one. We kind of talked about that. I think that's probably the game of the week in all classes. It'll be interesting. It's Chris Young's second game playing a team that good. And Northside, no disrespect, but they're not at that level. So you've got to kind of up your level in preparation, and you have less time. So both those schools, that's a tough task for both of them. We haven't talked about Bentonville, but I'm impressed with them. They ran out to the Conway, ran a big lead there and won, and they were behind, but then came back and won easily. They play Kansas City Rockhurst, who is known in that Kansas City area as a power. They're big and strong. And I think that they're probably one of the few teams that can match up with Bryant mano a mano. North Little Rock could also, but Bentonville is physical. I think the speed might be the problem with Bryant, but definitely rugged. They're the class of the 7A West, so that's a good out-of-state matchup for them. Bentonville West at Little Rock Central, we alluded to that earlier. I think that's a big game for both of those teams going into the league, because we talked about how they're trying to both kind of gain momentum to get in that upper echelon. And so I think whoever wins this game is going to have a good chance as they enter conference play to be a little bit more of a player. It's a tough task to go to Central, and that's what West will have to do. But that should be a good game as well.
We got a text coming in here from JP in Alma. He's wanting to hear your thoughts on Van Buren. They had a big 35-0 victory over the Alma Airedales. What's your takeaways on Van Buren so far early here in the season?
I like them. And, when you feel kind of old, because it seems like the other day that I was talking to Crosby Tuck at, the Hootens Awards and visiting with him when he was a finalist. And now he's a coach and has a family. It really is crazy how time flies by. But I think that was a great opportunity for him when Casey Dick left. Now Crosby takes over. I think there's an infusion of talent there. And I think they could be one of the surprise teams in Class 6A. Certainly so far, they've gotten a couple of nice wins, gotten some confidence. That's a team that I'm looking at on the radar. For when you look at the first couple of weeks, you're kind of looking at teams. And Arkadelphia is another one that you've seen that maybe they weren't expecting as much because they've got a new coach. Trey Shucker comes in, but they've done well too. And so they've kind of moved up my stock, and I think Van Buren has as well.
Hey, Nate, you're going to be pretty excited not just about another week of high school football, but you got your Iowa State Cyclones on the field for the first time. I see they are they're given 11.5 points against Louisiana at home. Is that one I want to take? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. And, I read a story this week that Louisiana thinks they can go undefeated, and they're not afraid of Iowa State at all. So, Iowa State last year nearly loses to UNI in the first game. That's a one, an FCS opponent, interstate opponent, and lost or almost lost them. Had to pull it out in overtime, and UNI had a chance. So I love Iowa State, but I've learned over the years that I don't necessarily put money on them. So I think that game could be close, and I think it's a big factor that there's going to be no fans there. They announced there was going to be 25,000, and the school president gets a lot of pushback from alumni, and the next day, Jamie Power, the AD, says, will be no fans. So they went from 25,000 to nothing. I think that's a major advantage for Louisiana, basically a controlled scrimmage in an empty stadium, no crowd noise, no hostile environment. So I think that's going to be close. If Iowa State can win that, I think they're going to have a chance to go to a big-time bowl and play for the Big 12 Conference Championship. But this game is kind of a bugaboo because you haven't really done anything. Your preparation's different. There's no fans there. It's a major test for them.
Mark that one down, Smack. That you have to use that one over the weekend for our picks, and I'm going with Louisiana. We're going to blame it on Nate if they lose. Okay.
I think you'd be smart to take the points for sure. I think it's going to be a close game. I would be very surprised if Iowa State routs them. I mean, I think they've got a lot of talent. You saw what Arkansas State did against Memphis, gave them a game, and I think Memphis is a very good team, and Louisiana is supposed to be better than Arkansas State, so you can draw your conclusions there.
Nate, we'll leave it there. Definitely want to do this if we can on a weekly basis, since you're hosting the Friday Night Scoreboard.
Got a lot of feedback on our text line too.
Yeah.
People want to know about high school football.
Plus, we just want to hear your beautiful voice.
We love it. And tell them to tune in 10 to midnight, or I can tell them 10 to midnight on the station probably you're listening to now, most likely. And we'd love to hear your feedback. If you have questions, you give them to Phil, and we'll answer them when we come on.
Bingo. Sounds good,
Keep
Nate. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Nate.
Have a great day, guys. Talk to you later.
You got it. Make sure you go to hitthatline.com. Enter right now to win the Ironwood 650 pellet grill. It's a $1,200 value, brought to you by Brad's Home Entertainment. You can enter once per day through September the 25th. The winner will be announced on the Morning Rush. See the full line of Traeger grills, spices, pellets, and accessories at Brad's Home Entertainment next to Walmart and Mountain Home, online at bradstv.com. Right back, wrap up the first hour of halftime next. When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Bow hunters, opening day is getting close, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to help get your season off to a great start. Check out our selection of bows, crossbows, blinds, pre-stands, boots, clothing, feeders, scents, calls, and many more items that will help you have a successful season this fall. Jelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
You name the speed and get all you need, only $50 a month. If your business has been experiencing some lag in its internet service, Pinnacle is here to help. With the most reliable fiber network, Pinnacle delivers a faster, seamless connection so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Now for a limited time, choose any speed and pay only $50 a month for 3 months. Don't wait long. Call Pinnacle today or visit pinnacletelecom.com. Some restrictions apply, 36-month agreement required.
Summertime is here. Let Art's Barbecue and Burgers keep you out of the kitchen with their great barbecue and burgers. $1 off all burgers every Saturday. All you can eat catfish on Fridays. And don't forget the ribs, pork sandwiches, and all the sides. Art's Barbecue and Burgers is following all the health guidelines in keeping you safe. Dine-in or drive-thru available Tuesday through Saturday. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, helping your summer to be better. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, next to Aaron's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Evans Body Shop would like to thank our customers for nominating us for the Southwest Times Best of the Best in the River Valley. We are very proud that we are in the top 5, and it would be our honor if you would take a few minutes this week to vote for us to win Best of the Best in the Collision and Body Shop category. All you have to do is go to southwesttimes.com/best to cast your ballot. Also, check out our Facebook page for a link to the ballot and an exciting contest we have going on this week. Thank you all again for supporting us. Our customers and friends truly are the best of the best.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Want more halftime? Make sure to listen to the Halftime Pod, presented by Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering. Give them a call at 479-308-9123. The Halftime Pod is available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Welcome back to Halftime here. Appreciate you tuning in. You know, I learned something about that song that you brought us in here a segment with a couple of weeks ago. I've heard this song. It's called Funk Number 49.
It is.
I've heard this for, my entire life.
Do you know who that is?
I love it. Well, I had no idea that it's Joe Walsh from the Eagles. I did not know that until a couple weeks ago. I put a playlist together of I've been into the Eagles these days.
Did you play Funk 1 through 48 first?
I know, yeah. If that's number 49, there had to be like 48 others that didn't get the seal of approval.
They weren't quite as funky as number 49. That's when they got it right.
50,
just like Mambo 49.
Funk number 50 would not be cleared for airwaves.
Yeah,
probably.
It's too much to handle.
Exactly. Yeah, I had no idea. It's a band named James Gang, and that's Joe Walsh. Walsh might have had my favorite of the post Eagles career for solo acts. He just seemed like the funnier of all of the Eagles that got out. I love Glenn Fry. I love Don Henley. Henley's so serious. Fry didn't really last too long, and Walsh just seemed to have a sense of humor about everything.
It'd be worth your time, and I know we talked about it, what was that, 2 months ago when the Eagles concert was on ESPN. Now they're aged. I'll give you. I mean, they're aged, and they're not the Eagles from what you remember of like the '90s and the 2000s when they got back together. But Joe Walsh in 2018 is still a hell of a guitarist. My God, he could pick that guitar. But like you said, he's funny. He's got that little quick wit about him, and just he's himself. No, Eagles for me are like Joe Walsh. Every one of them, like that's probably band wise, that's my all-time favorite band. Hands down. Not even
ordinary average guy. Ordinary average guy just is such a great story about what rock and roll does to an artist.
Yeah.
Gets such a big kick out of that song. Wanted to remind our listeners our show is moving next week. We're going to be doing this ad nauseum for the whole week because we got a short week to promote it. 11 o'clock in the morning next week, halftime is airing, and that's the way we're doing it for the rest of eternity.
Yes.
11 till 1. By the way, I forgot to mention, and this is all on me, because we air our show also on ESPN 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas. Press Row with Grant Hall also is expanding back to 2 hours. He'll be on right after us from 1 to 3. So on our affiliates in Hot Springs, Harrison, Fort Smith, you'll have Mike Greenberg 1 to 3, ESPN 99.5. Press Row with Grant Hall. So that's what we got going on.
Yeah, see, the idea was we didn't like, having like an hour of this show, an hour of that show. We're like, we wanted to at least give you a full program, so that's why we're doing this adjustment. We'll be playing a delayed version of Mike Greenberg, but you'll be getting the whole show.
And now moving it to 11 o'clock, you get a quote-unquote still sort of sleepy Matty T and Matt Jenkins.
That's right.
Because we're still starting to wake up a little bit before noon. So
the best part about this is like 1 week from today, we'll be wrapping the show up, boys.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let the dogs out early. It's like the rest of the day, go cause hell all across Northwest Arkansas.
That's actually the schedule that I was used to for, about 6 or 7 years. The previous show that I did. What time it got over there?
All right, so we had some picks over the weekend, SmackDown. It's up to you to keep score.
Had a good time
this
weekend.
You threw in the Kentucky Derby, a couple of wrestling matches, which included a Mimosa Mayhem match, which ended in a pool of mimosas?
Yes. So let's just recap what we did over the weekend because
you're going to have to start with the mimosa match, okay?
Okay.
Yes, so that's the best one. That was better than any of the football games that were played this weekend. Those were
Very
garbage.
True. AEW All Out was this weekend.
For American Elite Wrestling.
All Elite Wrestling. Oh. Very close, Matty T. All Elite Wrestling, it's the competition of WWE, which competition is great. AEW, I had a listener, I think he shot me a Twitter private message, or he might have commented on something I put on Twitter. But AEW is some fantastic stuff. It's got Chris Jericho. If you're an old school fan,
all that matters here is you just have to describe to me what the heck happened in the Mimosa Mayhem match. Why is a pool of mimosas anywhere, much less next to a wrestling ring?
Because there was all right. So you're obviously eager for this match. So Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho in the Mimosa Mayhem match. Which resulted in the only way you could win this match was via pinfall submission or by pushing your opponent into a pool of mimosas, which is what Orange Cassidy did. Chris Jericho was going to do look like a frog splash off the top rope. Orange Cassidy said hell no and pushed him into a pool of mimosas. That link I have on a rundown here, guys, you can click on that. It's a little short 14-second video of him landing in the pool of mimosas. Orange Cassidy beats Chris
Here it was.
Jericho.
I thought the only people that would ever dive into a pool of mimosas was I might have seen that on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, this
Chris Jericho
is
would do
ridiculous. Is this the male answer to what used to be a thing with mud wrestling and
Yes.
pudding wrestling with women? Is that what this is the answer to?
Absolutely.
Is this because, by the way, all that stuff back then was barbaric. I hope that we're never doing any of that stuff anymore. But
well,
can we just? Why does it be a pool of mimosas? Can it just be a giant vat of vodka?
I mean,
Can it just be something that actually hurts the guy when he falls into it?
Okay.
Because a lot of these wrestlers shave their body. You want to fall into a pool of vodka after that, have at it.
It's like a martini match.
I'll give you two things that may probably hurt worse than that. So the night kicked off. We didn't predict this one, but it was a battle royale, and they was doing their whole thing. A guy brings out a body bag.
That's a little morbid.
Then proceeds to put thumbtacks inside the body bag.
My Lord.
Puts a wrestler inside that body bag with thumbtacks and then power bombs him onto the stage.
Oh, boy.
So his weekend was great. So, yeah.
Apparently I got that one right.
Yeah, you
I
did.
forecasted the mimosa match correctly because I know my wrestling with champagne and orange juice.
And I failed miserably.
No, me and you predicted the main event. We got John Moxley beat MJF for the AEW Championship.
That's right.
So we got that one right. Authentic won the 2020 Kentucky Derby. Matty T's pick stormed the court, finished 6th. Your pick, Phil, New York Traffic, went for 8th place, and Major Fed finished 10th place.
We all sucked on the BYU Navy game. I think a lot of people got that one wrong.
BYU,
nobody got it wrong more than Navy. Yeah,
55-3 was that score. Nobody of us got that right. I was the only one that predicted Army 2. I didn't predict them to do what they did in Middle Tennessee, but I predicted them to win. Army shuts out Middle Tennessee 42-0.
And next week, isn't it BYU Army? That should
it is.
Actually, just judging by these two final scores, hopefully that'll be a good game.
And then probably the game Pro Star Kansas are probably looking forward to the most. Memphis beating Arkansas State 37-24. Matty T got a point for picking Memphis. Phil, you got a point for picking that A-State will cover. The spread was 19. They won by 13. And then I tried to pick A-State outright to get the lead. So as it stands, after 1 week of the halftime game day pick'ems, we're all tied at 2.
Very good. All right, so that means that I guess we're going to have some sort. Is there a Bloody Mary match this weekend for us to pick?
There very well may be. I'm gonna find you something obscure in the world of sports.
Good. Well, I'm going to find Nikki Chabanel to join us after the break. Talking Cruton with Nikki, Jeff Dantzler from the UGA Radio Network at 1:30, and we will be right back.
Hi folks, John Collins with Randall Ford of Fort Smith. If you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, you need to come see me today. We have access to hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. All makes and models available. If we don't have it, we'll find it for you. We have special financing and warranties available on all vehicles, plus up to 90 days deferred payments on select models. All vehicles are cleaned and UV sanitized to protect our customers. Before you pay too much for your next vehicle, come see me personally and let me save you money.
Fitness will always be about keeping a routine. And the best routines in life will always make time for enjoying yourself. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told ya. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beers. Beer in Texas. St. Louis, Missouri.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, now open Tuesday through Saturday, still serving all the 906 specialty items, with new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, dine in or carry out, wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails and cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels more like a destination, following all of the state guidelines in a state-of-the-art air filtration system for your safety. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open Tuesday through Saturday at 4 p.m.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Clear sky in place tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the upper 60s. We're expecting to see some showers and thunderstorms pushing on in across the north on Tuesday. Our high will be in the upper 80s. And then it looks like we'll see another chance of showers and thunderstorms midweek. Our high in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to The Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Here's your chance to really shine and do something great for the whole state. Join the Great Arkansas Cleanup. Volunteers and community organizations will soon be picking up litter along Arkansas's roadways, streams, and shorelines, and in the process, helping the real natural state shine through. Join the Great Arkansas Cleanup. Go to keeparkansasbeautiful.com to find out how you can help keep Arkansas clean and green. A message from this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Good station. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
These guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
All right, hold on, it's almost halftime.
All right, get into the second hour on this lovely Tuesday. And we're going to go right to our good friend Nikki Chavanel, covering recruiting and everything else Arkansas athletics for Rivals. And it's been 2 weeks since we last heard her lovely voice because Nikki had her wisdom teeth removed last Tuesday. So 7 days after you had these new holes created in your mouth, Nikki, how you feeling? I guess not so well. You feeling okay? Does she hear me?
Oh, let's see here. You there, Nikki?
Well,
she's on there.
Hello.
There we go.
Hi,
we got Nikki.
Hi, I hear you. Hopefully you hear me. You feeling all right
I
a week
didn't
later?
lose my vocal cords, guys. Just my
That's right. That's right. All right, so you are feeling
She's
okay.
not on the line. And now we got dropped.
And then we just lost her. Okay, so interesting things to happen. I think our network had a 3-day weekend as well. But we'll work on getting Nikki back here, and I'm sure she's just fine. Sounded like she was okay. I had one wisdom tooth out, actually two, on the right side at the age of 24. And that did knock me out for a good long while. It was a little difficult to talk for 4 or 5 days.
I did mine right after.
Have your wisdom teeth out yet?
Got mine out the, let's see, that would have been the Thanksgiving of 2018. Had both of all four of mine taken out.
Or after Thanksgiving?
Before Thanksgiving. So we did it that way. I did it during Thanksgiving break when I was teaching because I would rather have the Christmas holiday. Plus, during Christmas, we had a big, giant Christmas basketball tournament that we did. Didn't want to lose that payday. So I did mine prior to Thanksgiving. I was good to go by Thanksgiving. It didn't bother me as much.
All that matters to me is be able to eat Thanksgiving dinner. That's
absolutely.
All that matters.
I think we got Nikki back connected. Nikki, you good now?
Yeah, guys, I'm here.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Everything's good. Your voice is good. Sounds like you're having no problem forming words and everything. So let's just get right into it. 14 Razorback commits played over the weekend. I wanted to ask about Jermaine Jordan Hamilton, hybrid linebacker, nickel. I know there's a lot of kids you could describe like that, but he had 17 tackles on Friday. You tell me about Jermaine Jordan Hamilton?
Yeah, I mean, he's really versatile, so his defense has him all over the field. So 17 tackles doesn't surprise me, although I don't have that as an official number from his coach. That is what Jermaine posted himself. So fingers crossed that is an accurate representation of his activity on Friday night. But that doesn't surprise me because he is just all over the field. A more underrated guy on the commitment list, but the coaches liked him right away because of his versatility.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that as far as on the defensive side is concerned, because now I think Coach Pittman was talking about that over the weekend as far as having, linebackers essentially do the two things. I mean, you got to drop them back into coverage, and they've got to be able to cover tight ends and slot receivers, and you've got to be able to stop the run too. And essentially, that's the same thing you're asking from a safety. So I mean, you talk about a hybrid linebacker nickel. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Arkansas has two more traditional linebacker commits as well. So it doesn't really, matter if he doesn't fully, fill in or anything. Like, he can still play safety or nickel, and they have two other guys like Christopher Paul from Georgia. He's a whopping 237 right now is what his dad tells me, although he's looking a little heavier than that. Our own analyst posted a picture of him at Crisp County on Friday night, and he's looking like he might be moving towards the defensive line, but I'm sure he'll slim down.
How about the two quarterbacks that are commits for the 2021 class? Lucas Coley, he's had a couple of games already, and Landon Rogers had a nice season opening performance against the new high school in Southwest Little Rock.
Yeah, Lucas Coley. So at Cornerstone Christian, they're independent, so they go around, play wherever. They play Trinity Christian this week, and that is where Deion Sanders is the offensive coordinator, and that program brings in a lot of D1 athletes, and especially right now, some athletes who their home state, couldn't play, so they decided to transfer and go to Trinity Christian. So they had a tough time on Friday night, but Lucas did really well himself. He had 259 yards passing and 4 scores. So if that tells you anything, that Trinity Christian is a pretty good school that they were playing. And then Landon Rogers, he's been doing really well. He had, I think, 3 touchdowns, 1 to Aaron Outley on Friday night. So I like what we're seeing from both of them so far. I don't have completion numbers, so I don't know what their completion percentage is right now, but they both complete at a 55% or higher rate, which is typically what you see of these dual threat guys.
Hogs added 1 commit last week. I don't think we had a chance to talk with you about him, and it is Keytron Jackson, somebody that you had forecasted would choose Arkansas. He is the first 4-star commit, according to Rivals, on Sam Pittman's 2021 class.
Yeah, that was a very, very huge one. I'd heard that he was getting closer to a decision, but his most recent visit was to Texas. He had just gone to Austin just to see what the campus looked like, so it was kind of trending that way for a while, but I knew from Arkansas' side they were not going to stop at all, going to go full speed for him, tell him, it doesn't matter how long it takes, we're going to hold the spot for you. And he finally decided to commit. He is, I think, on Rivals, a top 200 player. He's 183 in the national rankings. And, at 6'1", he is a little bit different than the guys Coach Stepp has brought into this point. But him and Kendall Bryles sold Corey Cole to him, who is a receiver at Baylor, who was just 5'11", I think. So kind of a similar thing there. And Coleman had over, I think, 1,300 yards his junior season.
Speaking to Nikki Chavanel here on halftime. Sorry, my headphones jacked up. Speaking to Nikki Chavanel here on halftime. Nikki, when you look at kind of how the commits have looked so far, we just spoke about Lucas Coley and Landon Rogers. How about some of the other commits that the Hogs have for 2021? How have those looked so far?
Sorry, repeat that.
How have some of the commits look for the 2021 class, other than we've spoke about Lucas Coley, Landon Rogers? How about some of the other commits? How have they looked so far during their senior years of high school?
Yeah, well, so far everyone's doing pretty well. From the reports that I put together, the kicker's having a tough time. Sophomore just isn't a very good program, so he's getting to punt a lot, but that's fine. Javion Hunt over at Carl Albert in Oklahoma, he had a really good week, 139 yards. And then A.J. Green, despite losing to Broken Arrow, he still put up over 100 yards as well. So both running backs are, getting their yards in. Marco Avant had a good week, 12 tackles and a sack. Solomon Wright, who couldn't play last week at Gravett, I was going to go see him. He ended up playing this past week and had 3 tackles for loss from his defensive tackle spot. So a good day for him as well. It's early, but it looks like most of these kids, have stayed in shape for the most part, besides Paul, who I told you put on a little weight, but everyone's looking good.
When you look at some of these commits that the Hogs have gotten so far, we know what we get with Lucas Coley. You know what you get with Landon Rogers. If you're a fan, who would you say like the one Hog commit that you think fans need to go out and see on a Friday night here soon, just to kind of get a glimpse of what they could bring to the football field for the Razorbacks in the coming years?
Well, I think the offensive line commits that Arkansas has are a little underrated, and then people just might not know as much about them. Terry Wells down in Wynn. I'm not sure how many people are around there that can go see him easily, but he's already having a good season, off to a 2-0 start, I believe. And then Cole Carson at Rivercrest High School in Texas, they're 1-1. And Devin Manuel in Louisiana, he won't start for a while. Louisiana is still not even practicing, so a little bit of a delay there.
And also a bummer for you, Nikki, because you got to wait a little longer to see your alma mater start the season. As Southern Methodist TCU is postponed. Not going to be the only game that happens, but at least you get a chance to watch them. Well, I don't know when they've rescheduled the game or not, but that's been postponed.
Yeah, at least got to get a little glimpse against Texas State. Not the best start, but they got the win anyways. So, yeah, got to wait to see TCU. That was a huge bummer. I mean, first they canceled it, and then they rescheduled, and then they have to cancel again because of cases or whatever. And no, I don't think they've set a new date for it, but hopefully maybe by that point they'll decide maybe some more fans can go in and I can actually get down to Dallas and watch that.
I know, because that's a good Metroplex rivalry. Nikki, it's always fun talking with you. It's good to have you back. Glad the mouth is feeling better, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, y'all.
You got it. Nikki Chavanel, the one and only from Rivals.com. Don't forget that if you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, you got to call the Fence Man. They can come over for a quick, no obligations quote, and there's nobody that knows any better about fences in the area than the Fence Man. Been doing it for over 40 years. So if you own a business that needs that security or that curb appeal, call 479-782-3936. Again, that's 479-782-3936 for the Fence Man. Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. Jeff Dantzler joins us in 20 minutes to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. Got some baseball to update you on in the next segment. Over the weekend, Dallas Keuchel picked up his 6th win. The Rangers now have the worst record in the game. What happened to my Pirates? Goodness gracious. Back after the break.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
You know, at some point, we got to quit always dragging in last year or the last 2 years into the reasoning of why this year can't have some independence of its own and some success on its own. Well, at some point, the last 2 years has to quit mattering, and you got to move forward. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about here this morning.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
They say, trust the process. But if enjoyment isn't part of that process, don't trust the process. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told you.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to WaveRuralConnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask Shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howell about Renter's Insurance.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Evans Body Shop would like to thank our customers for nominating us for the Southwest Times Best of the Best in the River Valley. We are very proud that we are in the top 5, and it would be our honor if you would take a few minutes this week to vote for us to win Best of the Best in the Collision and Body Shop category. All you have to do is go to southwesttimes.com/best to cast your ballot. Also, check out our Facebook page for a link to the ballot and an exciting contest we have going on this week. Thank you all again for supporting us. Our customers and friends truly are the best of the best.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week, both on the open-air patio and air-conditioned dining room for your safety and comfort. River City Bistro is locally owned and open weekdays 11 to 8, Saturdays 10 to 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Madden's 1-0. Kerstad hits a high drive to center with a chance. Back goes Todd. Todd's at the wall. That's gone. And Heston Kerstad leads off the 6th inning with his 5th home run of the season.
One other high school football score I'd neglected to get to. It aired on our ESPN 105.3 affiliate in Harrison. Our buddy Jamie Holt on the call. Big rivalry. Nice way to start the season, too, when Harrison and Mountain Home get together and combined for 82 points.
Wow.
Harrison picks up the 48-34 win. Their quarterback, Colt Kalon, 7 touchdowns, 4 in the air, 3 rushing. How about that?
That's a good way to start the year.
Yeah, especially when you beat your rival to open the season. All right, baseball stuff. I am bummed out today because not only SmackDown are the Pirates no longer the worst team in baseball record-wise, they're tied for the second worst in Major League Baseball. So my whole plan here is starting to fall apart, and that's because the Texas Rangers pretty much have forgotten how to hit. I'll get to the Rangers in a moment. The Pirates split 4. Go ahead and play it. How bad are the Pirates today?
How bad?
Worse? How could they get any worse?
Well, they're as bad as they were before the weekend started because they split 4 with the Reds over the weekend. But the bad part about this SmackDown is they won 2 one-run games. Like, what's going on here? Plus, they beat Trevor Bauer on Friday. He's one of the best pitchers in the game. On Sunday, Bucks showed some fight. 2 in the bottom of the 9th for a comeback win. I mean, WTF here. I'll get back to the bad stuff with the Pirates. All right, Gregory Polanco, last 3 games, 0 for 10, 7 strikeouts. Isn't that nice? For the season, hitting a $150 with a 209 on base, and he has struck out in 46 of 100 at-bats. They're about to lose 2 in a row. They're about to lose 2 in a row at least, SmackDown, because they get the White Sox today and tomorrow, and in the interleague portion of the irregular baseball season, Pittsburgh is 1-11, all right? So they're getting right back to it. But, all right, The Red Sox also have a .333 winning percentage, just like the Pirates. The Rangers have the worst record in the game. And we do have Rangers fans that listen in here. This team is really struggling. Dropped 6 in a row, 18 runs scored during the streak. It's English. And they were swept at Seattle over the weekend. Rangers are 4-17 on the road. All right, so that's the bad stuff in baseball. The good teams now. White Sox and Cleveland begin the week tied for the AL Central lead. Twins are just a game back. 2 best records in the National League, Dodgers 30-12, Padres 26-17, same division. Padres beat the Rocks 1-0 yesterday. Jurickson Profar, a 9th-inning walk-off double. Dodgers were idle after dropping 2 in a row to Colorado. Back tonight against the D-backs with former Vanderbilt ace Walker Buehler taking the mound. St. Louis took 3 of 4 from the Cubs over the weekend, and I guess apropos it's the same weekend that Lou Brock passes away. Brock, of course, played for both the teams. Chicago salvaged yesterday's game with Kyle Hendricks going 8 innings. He was awesome. Cards bullpen, though, was the difference in this series. Adam Wainwright picks up a win on Friday, 6 1/3, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. Wainwright now 4-0 with a .268 ERA. The Cubs, though, still lead St. Louis by 2.5 in the Central at 24-17. And earlier this morning, the Cardinals' top prospect, Dylan Carlson, was optioned back to the minors. 162 average, 216 on base, and 76 plate appearances. So it looks like Carlson came up a little too early. Some Razorback-related baseball stuff. Andrew Benintendi might not return this year. Saw a report in the Providence Journal that there is no timetable for his return. This came out a couple of days ago. Of course, Benny injured his rib cage running the bases. It's been over a month now, and initially was placed on the 10-day injured list, but he hasn't been able to even get back to swinging a bat. Last it was reported he was running on a treadmill, but Red Sox manager Ron Renicky says he has a lot of trouble rotating his torso, and that's pretty important for a hitter. So you got less than a month. I think there's 22, 23 games left for Boston. There's a good chance Benny does not return this year. On the flip side, as Benny's had a pretty miserable season, Dallas Keuchel improved to 6-2 with 5 shutout innings Sunday against Kansas City. Keuchel is tied for 3rd in the majors in wins, and he has the 6th best ERA in the game at 2.19. So watch out for Keuchel, who should be on the mound in 3 days. The other big Razorback on the White Sox, James McCann, caught another win on Saturday. 5 straight starts the White Sox have won with McCann starting. Now, you go by a pitcher's record sometimes. The starting pitcher rarely completes the game. The catcher does complete the game. And although the record of a catcher, the record of a team with his catchers, this specific catcher starting isn't really a stat that people go by, I think it's an important one. And with James McCann starting behind the plate this year, the Chicago White Sox are 12-6. It's not just McCann, of course. It's a team that can smack it around, but James McCann he's one of the best defensive catchers in Major League Baseball, and he has become a pretty good hitter in the last 1 year.
And I think you would look at it too, and just I don't follow Major League Baseball as well as you do, but I mean when you look at kind of how the White Sox have been playing, their pitching's been outstanding. What you just said about James McCann, this is a World Series. Is this a World Series team?
Well, they could be. It's not even a matter of overtaking Cleveland. It's a matter of if their hitting can last in a series against really good pitching. The White Sox hitting is based upon home runs. They got a lot of guys that strike out a lot. So one of the issues for them is that when they face a team that's got very solid pitching, Tampa would be one of those teams. Oakland, perhaps another. They could get shut down. They could also get shut down by their own division rival, Cleveland, who's probably got the best pitching staff in the American League. So I think a good pitching staff could keep Chicago off balance and maybe, just maybe, keep them from advancing to the World Series. Let's see. There was some, this stuff about Lou Brock that we were talking about earlier. Did you know? So Lou Brock was traded from the Cubs to the Cardinals, according to Buck O'Neil, because in O'Neil's words, he knew that there was an unofficial quota for black players on Major League rosters. The Cubs had 5 black players on the 1964 team, and all of a sudden decide to make a move to trade Brock to the St. Louis Cardinals. Isn't that amazing to think that even at that point, this Jackie Robinson had broken the color barrier? It had been 15, 16 years. And even later on, I mean, even 15, 16 years later, there's an unofficial quota system where 5 black guys on one team was too many. And it's only, I mean, this is 1964 we're talking. It's a handful of years later, 1971, that Pittsburgh fielded the first all-black starting lineup. And you're talking about people of color in this, too. Manny Sanguillen was from I believe, the Dominican Republic, so that would qualify person of color. That was the first team, 1971, to have 9 starters in the lineup that were all a person of color. And this is a handful of years after there's some unofficial quota system that Buck O'Neil talks about. And if you don't know about Buck O'Neil, SmackDown, I would say that would be one Negro Leaguer that you need to learn about. He might never go into the Hall of Fame. He was a good player, but this is somebody that carried the legacy of the Negro Leagues through the rest of his life. And when you go, you need to take a trip to Kansas City at some point to visit the Negro League minor leagues. And they've got a statue of Buck there and his story, and really a special person that I had a chance, lucky enough for me, to meet and spend about 45 minutes driving to an airport in California once. Guy was telling stories about Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson and Cool Papa Bell, and he's, I mean, even if you throw that stuff away, the guy freaking signed Ernie Banks and Lou Brock. That's enough to be a Hall of Fame scout. You need to learn about Buck O'Neil. Absolutely. After the break, we're going to talk Georgia football with Jeff Dantzler. Since the Hogs open up with UGA, why not? UGA football next on Halftime.
Build your business with 100% fiber, internet, voice, and cloud services from Ritter Communications. Whether you're a one-man woodworking shop who needs fast, reliable internet complete with TV service, or you're a construction enterprise needing managed voice and networking to connect your multiple sites, our helpful, Arkansas-based team will create a custom solution for you. Visit RitterBusiness.com or give them a call at 888-336-4249 to learn more.
Hey, this is David Owen with Ouachita Farms. We grow hemp in Central Arkansas and process it into full-spectrum CBD products. Ouachita Farms products are affordably priced and available online or conveniently located at nearly 200 stores across the state. All Ouachita Farms CBD products are tested at C-Pill Labs in Little Rock to ensure that you will always get what you expect. Find us online today and use this code at checkout.
Ouachita Farms! Go to WouachitaFarms.com and use code WPS15 at checkout of your purchase.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making Saturdays even better with $1 tacos and $1 specialty draft beers. You can't go wrong with Taco Saturdays and specialty draft beers for just $1, plus $3 margaritas every day. Joe's Grill and Cantina, making your Saturdays even better with $1 tacos and $1 specialty draft beers. $1 tacos and $1 draft beers every Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic, 479-785-2323, or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time
every time.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
This is a special end of summer announcement from Dell. At our Labor Day sale, small businesses can save up to 50% on select business computers with Intel Core processors. We're committed to taking your business to the next level. Give our small business technology advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business with Labor Day savings. Visit Dell.com/business deals or call 877-ASK-DELL. Call 877-ASK-DELL.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
And it'll be Dungy on the trigger from the baseline. Feeds Ramirez. Catch and shoot three by Amber is good. And a 20-point game for Amber Ramirez.
I always love talking with Jeff Dantzler. He calls baseball, women's basketball on the Georgia Sports Network. And I don't know if you find anybody in the state of Georgia that's more in tune with everything happening, not just football, not just baseball, basketball, but everything happening on the campus in Athens than Jeff Dantzler, who joins us right now on Halftime. Jeff, I wish I'd have seen you in the baseball season. We would have seen each other during a regular season matchup, during Hoover, maybe Omaha, because both teams looked like they had the stuff to make it there, but wasn't meant to be. How you doing?
Doing good, Phil. Just excited to get back going, and I echo those thoughts. I miss seeing you and all our friends around the league on that March 12th, that horrible day when all the dominoes started to fall and all the you-know-what started to hit the fan. I'm sorry. So I think for all of us, from fans, players, coaches, broadcasters, you name it, we're just so excited to get back starting. I can't wait.
Well, and I guess – we wouldn't have seen Arkansas, Georgia under normal circumstances. I don't know if Arkansas fans feel lucky to have Georgia on the schedule. Certainly nobody here was feeling special after getting Georgia and Florida on the new schedule. But here it is, and that's what you got. So that's who they're not game planning for Georgia yet. I think they're going to start implementing that next week. So let me ask you this. Would it be fair to say that Georgia is attempting to remake their offense under Jeff Monken? Maybe not the same way that LSU did last year, but it's not the same ground and pound Bulldogs. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I think it's a situation where Kirby Smart is trying to tweak some things. Now, last year Georgia had a great season. Unfortunately, we just had a lot of attrition that hit us at wide receiver, and as great a year as we had, the offense just didn't have that explosive feel that it had the two previous years. So I think with that, kind of overhauling the offensive staff, and that included kind of the merry-go-round and losing a rock star in Sam Pittman, we certainly feel like we got a rock star here in Matt Luke to succeed Coach Pittman as the assistant head coach and as the offensive line coach. So, yeah, I think Georgia's looking for a little bit more firepower, a little bit more explosiveness. But we've also now lost our projected starting quarterback twice because Jake Fromm turned pro and then Jamie Newman quit. So now it looks like it's going to probably be J.T. Daniels, who's a transfer from USC, or Dwan Mathis, who's a redshirt freshman.
I said that Mathis got reps in the scrimmage with the number one offense this last weekend. I don't know if you're supposed to take that and run with it and say, well, maybe this is the number one quarterback right now. But Daniel still isn't cleared from last year's ACL injury, correct? They're thinking he will be, but maybe in the off case that he's not, it's good to get Mathis the first team reps.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there with both of those points, and he is projected to be cleared. And I think it's one of those deals, especially this year, who knows what's going to go on with the testing, but depth is really going to show, and you better have that second guy or even that third guy ready just in case something happens. So, the quarterback situation, it's just crazy right now. I mean, when you throw in how everything's changed in college football with the transfer portal, what's been happening in the world of collegiate athletics since March 12th, it's just a completely different landscape now.
Speaking to Jeff Dantzler here on Halftime of the Georgia Radio Network. Jeff, when you look at the defensive side of the ball for Georgia, I think that's where any Razorback fan, SEC fan knows that's where the calling cards are for this Georgia Bulldog team. And, I mean, you got 16 defensive players who were rated 5-star by 24/7 for the most in the country. This Georgia defense is salty, they're good, and they're talented this year.
Yeah, it should be a good unit. I think one thing that Kirby will use for some motivation, and you guys can ask Coach Pittman about this, Georgia's offensive line prior to last year was considered by a lot of people to be, if not the best in the SEC, certainly one of the best in college football. And they were good last year, certainly did a great job pass blocking, but they didn't get the movement and the push up front in the running game. It wasn't a dominant unit there. So I think one of the things that Kirby can use as an example is to say, hey, our offensive line last year was really good, but by no means did they go out there and dominate and perform like they were the best in the country. So basically don't get too caught up in reading your headlines on the defensive side of the ball. You still got to go out there and produce. And, I mean, I look at Arkansas in that first game, and I think the Razorbacks are going to be one of the most improved teams in the country. I just think getting Sam in there, his positivity, you're naturally going to be better on the offensive line. And in 2021, 2022, you'll have a typical terrific hog line, like going back to the days of Burlsworth and Peters and Johnson. And I get it that Felipe Franks was not Danny Werfel, Tim Tebow, or Steve Spurrier, but the guy did start at Florida for a season and then some. So when you look at what happened in Arkansas with the injuries and the merry-go-round at quarterback, I think just having that stability at quarterback is going to be a big plus. And then I think Boyd is a heck of a back, and you got the transfer in from Arizona State. So I don't know what it's going to show in the win column. And, everybody in the league, some got tougher, some got easier, but we're all playing 10 conference games. It's going to be a brutal stretch. I really think Arkansas is going to be a lot better this year. And, Georgia's certainly looking at a very tough test in that opener.
You brought up a couple things that I want to get to here, and you bring up you can't sleep if you're Georgia, you can't sleep on Arkansas, which is kind of weird to say just based on where the program has been. But when you look at Georgia's schedule, obviously opening up at Arkansas, then you got back-to-back home games with Auburn and Tennessee, and then the big one at Alabama. And when you just kind of talked about the rework in the offense, we know what the defense is going to look like. This is a big game for Arkansas, just to kind of see what this team could look like in the Sam Pittman era. For Georgia, though, this is probably an equally, if not a bigger game for Georgia to get started off on the right foot.
No, I think you're exactly right. It's certainly a must-win game, and this year when you look at the classic rivalries that we're missing out on, in our case at Georgia, not playing Tech, and we were supposed to play Virginia. You're not getting Florida State, Clemson, South Carolina. Unfortunately, we're not getting to see Arkansas play Notre Dame, Texas play LSU. So we're missing out on those big games. But I think also, usually most teams early in the year, there's one of those easier games or two where you feel like maybe you could work some guys in, go with some different looks, try some different scenarios and options there. But that is just not the case with 10 conference games right now. So it's one of those things. You're probably going to see a team or two that was projected to finish high, if they lose a game they're not supposed to, I mean, things could turn quickly because you're just not going to have the open dates or the easier games to go out there and quote unquote get yourself well. So if anybody, and I think Bama's got the best team in the country with what they've got coming back. So I think they've got a great shot to go 10-0, 9-1. I mean, I think anything over 8-2 for anybody else is really going to be a stretch.
You brought up Felipe Franks just a moment ago when you were talking about just kind of what Arkansas has and what Sam Pittman is bringing to the table. When you look at Felipe Franks, and a lot has been said here, particularly like when we get Ben Hicks or Nick Starkel transferring in. Nick Starkel had the SEC experience and different things like that. We feel like we're almost saying the same thing about Felipe Franks, though I believe, and I'm sure you'll agree, Felipe Franks has to be an upgrade from what Arkansas has had last year, just based on him succeeding in Florida at probably one of the highest levels. I believe it was a 10 or 11 win year when Felipe Franks was at that starting quarterback for the Gators. What kind of quarterback, and you've seen it firsthand being a part of Georgia-Florida with that rivalry, what kind of quarterback is Arkansas getting in Felipe Franks?
No, I think you're exactly right. Now, in 2017, when he was in there, Florida was just in a bad way, and that was when the McElwain turnover went. Georgia won the game in Jacksonville 42-7. He really didn't play well, but he was a freshman. I mean, they just didn't really have a lot of pieces. In 2018, I felt like he was much improved. And then, we just don't know what was going to happen last year because he got hurt. That Kentucky game was the second game of the year. I think the big thing with Felipe Franks at Florida, he made some big plays. You're talking about a big guy with a big arm who's athletic. Where he would get himself in trouble some was with costly turnovers. And if you go back and watch last year's season opener against Miami, he made a couple of spectacular plays. He also threw a bad interception towards the end of the game. So I'm sure that's one of those things, too, with Coach Pittman, is just conveying that, listen, we're building here. You're going to have a good offensive front. You got good backs. There's some places where you can't win the game. Just don't lose the game right here. But I think he's a natural upgrade, and if he can just bring those turnovers down just a little bit, I think the stability and the experience that he brings at quarterback is just going to give Arkansas's offense a huge lift.
So, Smackton, you can tell by talking to Jeff here that he's passionate.
Very.
He's a positive person. He's very thorough. He also, I don't know if you have a nickname, Jeff, but you should. He should be called the Iron Man. 2 seasons ago, this would have been 2019, a midweek game, Georgia-Clemson, and Jeff's on the baseball call. 20 innings.
Wow.
That he did the play-by-play for. You have recovered from that day, haven't you?
We have my buddy Dave Johnson, who does the games with me. We joke about it a lot. Like we were huge fans, and I do think with all this nightmare that's been going on, some good things can come out of it. And I love the big league rule, extra innings, putting the guy on second with nobody out, and rolling from there. I was like, oh my God, what we wouldn't have given for that 20-inning game. But at the same time, I think going through all the bad stuff, there are things, and I was as guilty as anybody of things that we've taken for granted. I said, when everything got canceled, my God, what I wouldn't give to call a 20-inning game again, just because we all, in what we do, we all miss it so much. And I'm sure you guys are like we are. You've probably gone through every top 10 list, every Mount Rushmore, everything you could possibly come up with, and we're just ready to get back going again. And that obviously goes for football, which gets it started, but into basketball, into baseball. And it's just such a great season. And, there's such a great camaraderie amongst the people in our business and the coaches. And football's a different animal because we all feel like it's life or death. But just seeing each other at the different tournaments and the home and homes for the different sports, it really is a special thing. And I feel very fortunate to be a part of it.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully we'll get back to traveling with the teams at some point, Jeff, and we can meet face-to-face again. But until then, hopefully we can do this again sometime. Always fun having you on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Would love to do it. You guys have got to get down to Hugo's for me and get some of those French fries, all right?
It's exactly
we
right.
We can arrange that to happen.
I got a few stops in Athens that I'll need you to make for me. Pretty please. Boy, do I miss it.
No problem, guys. We'll talk to y'all soon. Hopefully a game week, okay?
All right.
Appreciate
thanks
Jeff.
a lot. Jeff Dance.
Thanks,
Don't
boys.
forget, if you're looking for a new RV or a used RV, Wheels RV, 5 miles west off Exit 72 in Springdale, right off the highway. They're underneath the Tawnytown Water Tower. Been in business for over 20 years, but they have new owners, Lee and Chris, that have dedicated themselves to customer service. Plus, stocking more travel trailers than ever before. Top brands, Grand Design, Forest River Vibe, KZ Sportsman, and the Paradigm Fifth Wheel. Only lifetime warranty dealer in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley as well. You can see their inventory at wheelsrv.net. Wheels RV in Springdale. Wrap it up next.
The fall weather is on the way.
At Frank-Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in the USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank-Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Cleaning. ServiceMaster Clean has been an industry leader for more than 60 years and back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local ServiceMaster Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or ServiceMasterPC.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, now open Tuesday through Saturday. Still serving all the 906 specialty items, with new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, dine in or carry out, wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails and cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels more like a destination. Following all of the state guidelines in a state-of-the-art air filtration system for your safety. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open Tuesday through Saturday at 4 p.m.
ESPN Arkansas and Brad's Home Entertainment next to Walmart and Mountain Home want to bring your old beat-up grill into the 21st century. Register to win a Traeger Ironwood 650 pellet grill loaded with Wi-Fi technology, which means you can control it with your phone. All of this valued at $1,199. Register at hitthatline.com and swing by Brad September 14th through the 26th and grab a free grill cover with any Traeger grill purchase from Brad's Home Entertainment, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Kjerstad goes the other way with a high fly ball to deep left near the corner. Topple racing over at the fence. That ball's out of here. Snuck over the wall. 2 homers for Kjerstad today. He went to right. This time he goes to left.
Oh, time to wrap the show up here on this short week. Want to let everybody know tomorrow we're going to visit with Tom Pagnozzi, longtime Cardinals catcher, former Razorback. I want to talk with Pags about his experiences with Lou Brock because really all of the Cardinals, every single one of them, has some remembrance of Lou Brock and nothing but respect and love for the man known as the Rocket, passed away on Sunday. Plus, we'll be talking with Clay Henry and with Bill King, so a usual Wednesday. And don't forget that on Thursday, we get to give away a bunch of burgers to listeners on our affiliates, thanks to Hardee's.
We do. It's the Hardee's Lunch Bunch. We've talked quite a bit about this, but gave away 3 lunches. We're going to give away our 4th one this coming Thursday. Just as Phil mentioned, you can head to hitthatline.com and register for the Hardee's Lunch Bunch to get lunch for your office, group, or your job site. You can head to hitthatline.com, click on the Lunch Bunch button. You can enter once per day. We'll announce a winner this coming Thursday, and that's courtesy of your pals at Hardee's in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and hitthatline.com.
All right, you want to wrap the show up? Let's do it with well, this is Tuesday, not Monday. Get off my lawn.
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous. How dare you? How dare you say such a thing? That is insanity.
You're talking like a song from The Lion King. Stop that. It makes no sense.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Just when I think you've said the stupidest thing ever, you keep talking.
This is ridiculous.
I'm calling my supervisor.
You're not going to amount to jack squat.
Get off my lawn.
I got 3 of them today, SmackDown, 3 of them.
Boy, did you have a bad weekend or something?
No, I had a great week, mostly a great weekend, with the exception of a couple of things that I'll get to.
All right.
The first is the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock hour of this show. Can get off my lawn, because we're not doing it anymore starting next Monday. This show moves 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday next week, for 2 hours of fun and goofiness and sports. And, of course, on our ESPN Arkansas affiliates, after the show, you'll have Greeny on ESPN 99.5. It'll be Press Row with Grant Hull. So 1 to 2 o'clock. Man, I mean, this is going to open up so many opportunities in life. The extra 60 minutes will lead to nothing but happiness for the 3 of us.
That's very true. That's very accurate.
1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, get off my lawn.
That's very accurate.
And out of my clock as well. All right, my second one. So I went hiking on Saturday. I went to Mount Sequoia. Not actual the mountain. I went to Sequoia Lake, which is close enough. And gorgeous. It's in Fayetteville. It's not too far from the campus. Beautiful lake there and waterfall. You can actually get a look on both sides of the waterfall. And I really enjoyed it, but I don't think anybody had been there for a good long while. I scared myself to death because I went off the trail. I didn't realize I was off the trail for a moment. I was following what was a horse trail. And, one of the things I just can't stand the feeling of is walking through spider webs. I don't like spiders, but it's the feeling of walking into the spider webs that just makes me want to cringe and shudder and everything. And all of a sudden I start walking through some spider webs, and I'm thinking maybe I might want to stop right now and turn around. I kept going for another 15 steps. And as I pick my left foot up, I stop, noticing if I move 3 more inches, I am going to be devoured by the largest spider I have ever seen in my life. This thing, SmackDown, was half the size of your head, and you have the largest head I've seen since breakfast.
Big spider.
This thing frightened the ever-loving crap out of me. It was black with yellow stripes going down the legs, and I'm not kidding you. At that very moment, I spun on my heel and sprinted the other direction. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go a step further. That spider needs to be off my lawn and out of the forest.
Does spiders scare you, or is it just that particular instance where it just kind of caught you off guard?
There's a difference between a spider that just is like the size of your thumbnail, like one that I picked up off the floor at my apartment the other day, and one that is the size of my face.
Okay.
They could literally suck my skin right off of my body and then keep on walking. Like, that's the last thing I need to happen. So, yes, I'm not dealing with giant spiders. And I've at Ray Winder Field, the old ballpark in Little Rock, I remember seeing multiple black widows. They weren't up in the radio booth, but they were down in the clubhouse. If it bites the players, who am I supposed to care? No. Up in the clubhouse, up in the press box, it would have been a different thing. But I am not going hiking at Lake Sequoia again until a spider bomb is dropped right there, okay? It's not happening.
Chad Northwest, let me interrupt for a sec. Chad Northwest Arkansas says that was just a garden spider. He says they're harmless.
A garden spider for a garden the size of the state of Arkansas. Yes. All right. The third one here is me. I need to get off my own lawn here, SmackDown, because I'm into making these goofy predictions every once in a while, and sooner or later they come true. So I predicted the Pirates would get no hit 5 days before it happened. You remember the prediction I made before moving all of my belongings from Little Rock up to Fayetteville a couple of weekends ago?
Yeah.
What was that prediction?
It was you weren't going to have any broken bones.
Didn't happen that weekend, but I think it might have happened this past weekend.
What'd you do?
I have this series of hooks that are fashioned onto an old railroad tie.
Okay.
I guess old railroad wooden ties are fairly heavy.
Yes, they are.
And I stashed this thing inside a closet, opened the closet the other day, and it falls out. I'm not wearing shoes. I'm not wearing socks. Right on my left big toe. I mean, flush. This thing is more purple than if you stuffed your face full of blueberries and smiled for the camera. I had trouble walking a couple of days ago, but I have good things to report now. I am walking without a limp. I went bicycling yesterday. Maybe, just maybe, I didn't break my toe, but I came close enough to be 5 days off with a prediction again. I don't need to be doing this stuff, especially when it comes to injuring me or anyone else I know. Phil, get off your lawn.
Get off your lawn. I'll be short and quick with mine. It's kind of near and dear to my heart. But get off my lawn to like Pulaski Academy, Little Rock Christian, all those private schools that can quote unquote recruit players to come play at the high school level and then expect Pulaski Academy and BB to match up on the same football field, which is just a massacre waiting to happen. And it irritates the living crap out of me because BB can match up with like Valonia, Greenbrier, those schools that maybe once every 5-6 years you're going to have one D1 athlete. BB's lucky to have one D1 athlete in 10 years. That's just the kind of athletes that we produce in BB. We're more country guys than athletes. But, yeah, get off my lawn to Pulaski Academy and all those private schools that can recruit. It really pisses me off.
Yeah, high school recruiting. But
it's not really recruiting, though.
Yeah, not really, but it is. But
it is. Oh, it is.
But it is. Yeah. Yeah, have fun with that one for a while. You talk yourself into a circle.
I know.
It's good to be back on the air today, guys. Lots of fun. Lots to get to tomorrow, so make sure you have yourself a great rest of the day. For SmackDown and Matty T, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.